The mission of the lab is unchanged. We still create materials, we inspire minds to solve problems, and we address global challenges. That's what the Ames Lab does. Ames Lab researchers in 2010 published roughly 4% of all the papers published by the national labs in the broad areas of expertise that the lab claims. Despite having 4%, we produced 6 of the top 100 most cited papers in 2010. So we exceed our contribution in terms of the quality. So we contribute roughly 4% of the papers. We contribute roughly 6% of the highest cited papers. So what goes on here is not only a lot of science, but it's a lot of very high quality science. We've seen a huge increase also in the number of external connections. We have people trying to get into Ames Lab to collaborate with Ames Lab researchers at a higher rate than ever before. We've made some internal changes. We have, in the last year or so, made 12 permanent new hires, including our new Chief Research Officer, Dwayne Johnson. We've reorganized our basic energy science programs so they're thoroughly and correctly and strategically aligned with the organization of the Office of Science at DOE headquarters. So Tom Lagrasso and Cynthia Jenks are now leading the respective divisions in the BES programs. The FY11 budget, this is what we expect to spend during FY11. You can see it's down a little bit from FY10. And that's largely because we've been very conservative in spending. We've been conservative because of the uncertainty in the budget. You all know what's been going on with the federal budget and how late it's been, how we were anticipating cuts and all that. But we're actually funded at almost the same level as we were in FY10. In fact, maybe even a little better. The percentages of our budget that are coming in through work for others are growing rapidly. That is to say, our work for others projects are growing faster than our DOE projects. And that's fine. DOE's had some budget constraints. We found room for growth in other areas. Our accident rates continue to go down, although I will note that we've had 1 or 2 accidents this year, and I'm concerned about that. So we'll be doing a few things to beef up the attention to safety once again. But still, Ames Lab, going back at least to 2010, is the blue line. This is the total recordable cases. 2010, I think that's probably 1 case, more or less. We're going to go up a little bit in 2011 because, like I said, had a couple of cases. But we're still way below the level set by the average of all of the Office of Science labs. You're all sitting in Spedding Auditorium, of course. We've been planning to do something about this auditorium for the longest time. The seats are a problem, the stage is a problem, the AV system is a problem, the lighting is a problem. It's really not a good auditorium, and it's certainly really old-fashioned. So we've been working with an architect to redesign not just the auditorium, but all of the space around the auditorium so it is a usable, functional conferencing facility for the lab. We need new space for sensitive equipment. We have instruments like electron microscopes, scanning probe microscopes, scanning tunneling microscopes that are exquisitely sensitive to vibration. So what we're planning is to build a new building. It's based on designs that have been used at Oak Ridge National Lab and at Argonne National Lab. So we're getting some actual help from our sister facilities where they've put up buildings that are extremely energy efficient, extremely space efficient, and extremely quiet. One of the concerns that we have is that for all employees, it's relatively easy to see, we have a sharply peaked age distribution at the very high end of the age. So what we are facing with this age distribution is that a lot of the talent at Ames Lab, scientific talent and administrative talent alike, and they're both really important, but a lot of the talent is approaching retirement age. And we absolutely need to ensure that we have the ability to replace that talent as people retire.